If you don't mind, can you expand a little bit on why we break our wrist during the cast, and especially when, because that's the most important, is when it happens.
Sure. So I think we all agree that there are times in a fishing situation where we need to use the lever, which is the rod, more in the casting stroke, whether we're casting into the wind or whether we need to make a longer cast. We need to get the rod tip back. And whether you get it back using Lefty's system or some other system where you send your elbow back on a shelf like Lefty taught, you extend your arm back. The idea is to get the tip of the rod back so that you have a long casting stroke. Or you could simply, after you form the loop on your back cast with the rod tip, like this, you form the loop and then break your wrist backwards. Just break your wrist and see how far back my rod tip is at that point. And then when you come forward from there, there is a window through which the rod tip will pass where you want the rod tip to travel horizontally or as nearly horizontally as possible. And that's the point at which you form the forward loop. And then you relax your wrist forward and get the rod tip to go forward. This is how it loops. Form the loop, break your wrist back, come forward for the forward cast, and as the rod tip enters that window where it has the opportunity to move horizontally, you move it horizontally, stop it, and see the loop that forms? So if you do it at speed, it looks like this. Form the loop, break your rod tip back, and then do the same thing coming forward.